Currently, Russian troops have been shelling the border village of Shostka district of Sumy region from the Troye-Bortne checkpoint. This was stated in the State Bodyguard Service. It is reported that several munitions hit the premises of the State Bodyguard Service of Ukraine. This building was opened in 2015 to house illegal migrants. It was not used during Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The current day, the Russian military shelled Kharkiv. The shelling set fire to a cafe, a grocery store and a school library in the Nova Basan district. The school building is partially damaged. The SES of Kharkiv region reported that the total area of the fire was about 500 square meters. According to preliminary data, 2 people died and 4 others were injured. Also, after the shelling in Kharkiv, the television signal disappeared. This information was confirmed by the board member of the National Public Broadcasting Company of Ukraine, Dmytro Khorkin. According to the Kharkiv Regional Police, they evacuated more than 1,300 Kharkiv region residents from the occupied territories. During the last few days, residents of 5 settlements in the region were taken by bus to Chuhuiv and Kharkiv. Law enforcement officers are constantly involved in the evacuation of civilians from places occupied by the Russian military. It is also reported that police officers are delivering under fire the necessary humanitarian aid to the citizens. During the current day, the Russian military fired 5 times from artillery at Zelenodolsk community. This was announced by the head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration, Valentin Reznichenko. According to him, as a result of shelling, houses in the village of Velika Kostromka were partially destroyed. There are no civilian casualties. The head of the Luhansk Regional Military Administration, Serhiy Haidai, said that the Russian military continues to fire on peaceful neighborhoods and industrial facilities in the Luhansk region. The current day, the Russian army struck 2 blows at the Severodonetsk Association Azot. At least 2 shops at different ends of the chemical plant were damaged. One of them is an ammonia production plant, Haidai said. He also added that this day the Russian military used mortars, artillery and rocket-propelled grenades for shelling Severodonetsk, Lysychansk and 12 other settlements in the Luhansk region. At least 4 residents of the region are also known to have died. In particular, 1 man died from previous injuries, 3 more people, residents of Lysychansk. Specialists inspected and recorded the destruction in Hirske, Orikhove and Lysychansk. A total of 22 houses were damaged in these settlements per day. During the current day, 4 civilians were killed and 11 civilians were injured in shelling by the Russian military in the Donetsk region. This was announced by the head of the Donetsk Regional Military Administration, Pavlo Kyrylenko. According to the head of the region, it's also become possible to clarify the information about 4 victims in Mariupol, including 2 children. Donetsk Region Police say the Russian military has shelled 14 settlements and damaged more than 37 civilian targets in a day. This morning, Bakhmut came under artillery fire again. This was reported by the press service of the main directorate of the SES of Donetsk region. It is noted that Russian shells hit the Vistek machine-building plant and damaged one of its shops. Elements of construction and things that were in the room were burning on the area of 50 square meters. There is no information about the victims. On March the 5th, the Russian military forcibly captured the head of the Nova Basan community along with his deputy. They were pressed morally, interrogated, kept without light, and were given only 3 potatoes a day. Such are the memories of Nikolai Dyachenko's 25 days in Russian captivity. From the first day of the Russian invasion, the man passed on information about the number of enemy vehicles moving towards Kiev. There were no greens, no leaves, so we could see the road through the park very well, and so we had the opportunity to account for their armored vehicles. By March the 5th, about 850 armored vehicles, cars, Buk and Grad had passed here. On March the 5th, the Nova Basan community became a permanent location for Russian troops. There were up to 1,000 soldiers and many different equipment. Tankers came to this street, this is Shevchenko Street. A covered truck drove into this yard and we were blocked from leaving. Mykola Dyachenko was kept in this farm building for the first 2 days. Up to 20 people were held captive at various times. Here I was just in this place, my deputy was in this place and next to our delegate. There were 13 of us here, and on the 7th there were 15. At that time there were frosts, up to 10 degrees below zero. There was a case when one boy froze his toes. Mykola Dyachenko's phone and documents were confiscated. From them, they learned that he is the head of the community.
Так як я голова громади,
Since I'm the head of the community, I was taken out several times and asked if we really had a terrorist defense and do we have hidden weapons? Do people have weapons in their hands? Who are these people? They did not use physical force against us. They put more moral and psychological pressure. Then we'll shoot you in the leg, then we'll throw a grenade. Sit quietly. On March the 30, during the liberation of the community, the prisoners were able to leave the yard on their own, while the Russian military hid from the shelling elsewhere.
переконалися, коли
We had become certain that there was no one here, knocked the door down and left this room. From that day on, Mykola Dyachenko resumed his duties as head of the community. His first task is to help restore the housing of people who lost it due to the fighting.